This short video is going to be completely different to any of my other YouTube videos. Most of my previous videos have mainly been natural history or landscape photography, but in this video I've come out of my comfort zone and had a go at some fine art, portrait and dance photography. Although natural history and landscape photography are my main interests, I think it's important to try different genres of photography. The pictures in this video were all taken at a photography session day, an event at Tabley House near Knutsford. These photography session days are run by Graham Curry and Emma Finch, and to find out more information about them you can go to their website at Photo Session. These events are mainly based around the Manchester area, and they are very well subscribed, so usually sell out very quickly. So it's advisable to subscribe to their newsletter so you hear about events as soon as they are announced. I will put a link to their website in the description of this video. Although I've always taken portraits, in fact my first fellowship to the RPS was in the portrait section. They tend to be environmental portraits. Here I would be photographing professional models and dancers in a stately home. So quite a bit different to the normal portraits that I would take. The fine art sessions that Graham and Emma run are either studio based or at a photographic location. The photographic location for this session was Tabley House, an 18th century stately home near Knutsford. It's a fantastic setting and ideal for this fine art session. There was a morning and an afternoon session, and I booked myself on for the morning session. There were 6 different sets of models, and the photographers were organised into groups of 3. You spend 30 minutes working with each model before moving on to the next set and a different model. In the group you take it in turns to photograph the model, and the advantage of working in a small group of 3 was that you got plenty of time to take the pictures. Also, it helped to bounce ideas off each other with regard to how to take the pictures, poses and things like that. The lighting was predominantly daylight, although additional lighting on stands was provided to supplement and balance the exposures. All the models were excellent, very helpful and willing to suggest ideas and poses. The first model, Kate, did some classic ballet poses, but we also took portrait shots, some of her posing on the floor, as well as shots of her using the light from the window. She suggested poses, which was very helpful, having never photographed a ballet model before. We photographed the second ballet model, Chloe, both in the room setting as well as outside on the winding staircase at the front of Tabley House. Like Kate, Chloe is a very experienced model, was used to being photographed, so was perfectly relaxed in front of the camera. Like Kate, she would also come up with ideas and poses for us to try. The next session we had was with a Tango couple. Initially, we tried to photograph them on the steps outside the front of Tabley House. This worked to a certain degree, but the sun was in and out all the time and contrast was a bit of a problem, so after about 10 minutes we gave it up and decided to concentrate on photographing poses inside the open hallway at Tabley House. The next model, Cariad, is again a very experienced model, totally relaxed in front of the camera and very easy to photograph. She was wearing a very elegant long red dress, and we photographed her in various poses in one of the drawing rooms. I particularly like these portrait shots where we posed her against the window and using the window light. The next model was Meg. She is a classic English rose type, tall with long hair. She was wearing a full-length yellow dress and looked stunning. We photographed her posing on the floor in front of the fireplace, as well as laying on the sofa. When you come to these sort of sessions, the big advantage is the models will often come up with ideas of where and how to photograph them. The last model we photographed was in the main dining room area. One of the big advantages of photographing in a stately home like Tabley is that the settings and backgrounds are so classical, which suited this type of photography so well. For these window shots, we're using the additional lights on a stand to help fill in the shadows. It was a very enjoyable morning, and the big advantage of the day was that it gave me the opportunity to photograph 6 different professional models, each in a slightly different setting. The camera that I used for the shoot was the OM1, mostly with the 12 to 40mm f2.8, although when I wanted to get in closer for tighter headshots, I used a Leica 45mm f1.2. I don't actually have that lens, I borrowed it from a friend. I shot with both lenses wide open all the time, and depending on the light, the ISO varied between ISO 400 to ISO 1600. All pictures were taken handheld. So would I recommend a photo session day, and would I go back again? Absolutely. I came away with some pictures that I'm very pleased with, and different from the pictures that I normally take. Although I was slightly anxious being a newbie at this sort of photography, Graham and Emma made me very welcome, and were only too happy to step in and advise if and when needed. I think it's important to try different areas of photography, and although I mainly do natural history, which I'll be reverting to in future videos, this was just something new and different to try. Hope you enjoyed the video, and it may have given you an insight into a different type of photography. Thanks for watching.